Hello and welcome to the third of our sessions of Changing the Lost, powered by the Apocalypse. My name is Lowell, he, him, and I'm the GM for this. This is a hack that I wrote. It is a Frankenstein built out of just about every other PbtA game that I had at the time to allow us to do Changing the Lost, which is one of my favorite settings, if not my favorite setting. It may be my favorite setting. And I don't care for the World of Darkness system that much. I've tried it in that, did not care for that. I've tried it with a fate-based thing. It was okay. But this PbtA thing gives us an engine for tragedy. So I think that is most appropriate for Changing the Lost. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet Hangouts, Gauntlet community is an online gaming club organization. We have a calendar app that's associated with that. And we also have a number of podcasts that are associated with the community in general. You can find out about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll also mention, if you're watching this and you're like, I wish I could watch this as a podcast or listen to this as a podcast, we do have a thing for that, and I believe the notes for that are on the Gauntlet site, and I'll check on that. But I know a number of people do it. Don't set it up to auto download, or you will lose all of your data because we have a ton of sessions and more going up all the time on there. But anyway, so our group last time, they were assigned the task of putting together a party. And they leaned into this and they spent time preparing the site, preparing the decorations, preparing the invitations, figuring out who to invite, getting the guest list together, all of that, licking clean the club, all of these things were done. And we are getting ready for the party to happen. The one thing that was sort of note at the end was the discovery that our Darkling's Crescent's good friend, the sole mortal who has been invited, that they are doomed, that they received the invitation that bears doom with it. So that is where we are going to take up tonight. Did anybody get advances or anything last time that we should check in on? What do you think you're going to take? Gary?
I took Beauty is Truth, Truth Beauty, which is a classic Ferrist. When you take something you feel, a concept or an idea, and express yourself by way of your chosen art. Whether performed or expressed, and it's experienced by others. So essentially, since she's a figurehead, she does essentially rousing speeches, but also the kind of whispered conversation of inspiring people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That is her thing.
I like that. And Crescent, what did you take?
So number one, it took me 2 days to decide because I like so many moves. It's just super hard. I just told myself it's okay, Jamie, you'll play some more. So I picked echoes. When you read the emotional echoes of an area to reconstruct past events, and I feel like that really makes sense for Crescent considering their durance. And I should be able to, if it goes well, pick up emotional details or at least an impression from an area.
Excellent. That is a good choice. Ferris, you took a new move, right?
Yeah, I took coincidence. So once per session, I can announce my presence in the perfect place to help someone, ignoring usual limits of time, distance, or plausibility.
One of the best moves ever written.
Well, I figure I'm playing the employee in a game of Passions, so same thing, right?
Exactly.
Might as well keep it consistent.
Absolutely.
But oh my gosh, the difference between an Empleada behind a potted plant and this huge troll showing up. It's like great.
Scale. It's all about scale. And then Patrick, did you take a new move?
I did. I picked up Hedgemaster, which is fairly straightforward. It's just a +1 to go roll into the hedge, and I can use my roll to lead others through. And so it's more of a meta pick of Patrick saying like more hedge nonsense.
Okay. Well, certainly we will bleed the hedge into this world as we need to then. Thank you for opening that gate. So we are going to take up today with the party. When we come in and the camera, all the things have been kind of set into place, things have been delivered. When the camera comes in, what do we see Falling Waters doing? What is the last little bits of setup or getting things into place that Falling Waters has to get ready here?
Falling Waters, I think, is busy making the first round of cocktails for when all of the guests arrive, which is heavy dose of that bottled despair and sweat and baby oil of babies. Mixed with a heavy dash of vermouth, just taste.
Right.
It's garnished with I think a healthy dose of glitter around the rim,
okay.
And a nice sort of like rolled up dirty dollar bill swizzle straw. Which you wouldn't think. You'd think it'd be a little like grating on the throat and like a smell or something, but somehow the combination of it goes with that like weird distilled emotion in just a perfect sort of upsetting but undeniable way.
And you spoke with Semolina Pilchard, and she delivered a goodly amount of booze to you. What is the most striking thing amongst those bottles? She's repurposed old bottles and put on new labels on them. What's the most striking one?
So why not? Let's stick with mirror themes. So I think it's this like sort of red plastic like engine oil bottle,
Okay.
that has been remade with a custom handmade label on the front of it. But I think the name on the front of it is 7 years, and it is a silvery alcohol. It pours like shards of broken mirror that somehow like aren't solid. They're sort of liquid, and they flow in and out of each other, and it's this very like Arctic cool, almost like crunchy ice taste when you drink it.
Given how much that echoes your own presence and appearance, is it enticing, or is it a little scary or repulsive?
It's a little like gruesome and repulsive for Falling Waters. It's
okay.
For him it's weirdly the sort of equivalent of like pouring a glass of like chunks of flesh and bone.
All right then. Ferris, what are you doing when we see the camera come to you for what is going on? What do you think you're involved with?
Probably doing a lot of the heavy lifting of moving, getting tables and like all the food moved around and in the right positions, so that everything is like perfectly set for the party.
And tell me how you're setting. Are you setting separate tables? Are you setting one big table? What do you think?
I think it's probably like a couple of round tables, so that way if there's anybody that necessarily wants to avoid each other, they can, but only within so many, we've only got a couple tables.
Okay.
So
is there like a central display or feature between the tables? What's the centerpiece here?
Yeah, I think. Ooh, so I mean, this used to be a strip club, so maybe even the tables are on like the raised platform, where the dancers would have gone, and so just in between the tables is just a pole, just a nicely adorned stripper pole. Like we've probably done what we can with it to fancy it up, but it's just a nice stripper pole.
So if I'm reading this right, then the tables are up on the stage with the kind of spotlights coming down, and then there's the darkness of the like main place where the audience might be, kind of thing, like they are on display.
Yeah.
What is the thing you are snacking on, Ferris, while all this is while you're doing all this work?
I think. I think maybe there was like some kind of like a turkey leg almost, but it's completely barren of meat at this point. So I'm just kind of gnawing on the bone.
That seems fair, right, and proper. All right. Then let's come to you, Crescent. You've decorated with the tarot, the various around there. We've got this set up. What is the last bit that you are doing?
I am creating these very disturbing figures that can sit in the darkness to watch everybody. So they're made out of random things. So they look like people from the stage, but they're actually just made out of like different objects. So if you come closer, it starts to fall apart a bit.
What kind of thing are they made out of?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Have you seen those like weird museum installations where from a certain view it looks like one thing, but as you come closer, it's just like stuff that you can find a scrapyard. I specifically found things that were like discarded, thrown away, but hadn't been collected by garbage collectors yet, like stuff that's still carrying all of the emotions from people.
And when we see you, what is it? What is the emotion or feeling that we get? Like, are you worried about Niani coming? Are you engaged in this? What do we see?
I think what's sad about Crescent right now is that they are too embarrassed to take on their true form if Niani's going to show up. So she looks like her human form, which is really rude in front of all the other changelings. Like it's completely improper.
You've done that thing to invest your glamour in that, to make that kind of a shield of yourself. And how is your mask form? How is it dressed right now?
Right now, so she's wearing a tie, the black jacket, but instead of the skirt and boots, it's she's wearing pants, and she has like her eyeshadows full of like silver glitter, and but Crescent, surrounded by all this magic, there's just sometimes from the corner of her eye, like the fingers are a bit too long, or the neck looks a little too fragile, like it's not coming together completely, because they're really worried. And I think they've been trying to talk to Falling Waters about it, but they've been too embarrassed to do so, because Crescent's convinced that maybe Falling Waters did this on purpose for a reason, and she's too scared to ask. So
excellent. And then Victory, what is the last little bit? You obviously, there need to be these last touches to get everything just right. What are those last touches, Victory?
The name cards and the gifts. essentially, because we have a symmetric non-symmetry to this, essentially one table will have 7 and one will have 6. And there's no true opposites at the table except for perhaps our mortal guest and our goblin, our hob guest. So those two, she does set separate tables and sort of opposite of each other. Like if they could look through the pole, they would see each other, but the pole is in the middle, if that makes any sense. And then she definitely sets Ashwine next to Niani, and because she will need a friend. She understands that. That is the thing. And then she sets Hopscotch next to Auntie Nim because those two will need an enemy. And that is, if there's anything the Hobbs hate, it is Hopscotch take-backs. So,
Yes.
Because he can get one over on them.
Yes.
And then from there, she's created a sort of, I guess, story in her head about the different superstitions and how they work, which ones ward away bad luck, which ones call good luck, and she sort of varies them between those two, if that makes any sense.
Let me ask you this. Looking at the guest list, which I just put again in the chat,
Okay.
who would arrive first?
I think it's actually White Alice, and not on purpose. She just sort of falls, like she just ends up right in front of the door, much to her dismay, out of thing, because that's how she always comes to a place. It's almost like she's falling through a hole and boom, that's where she is. She always feels like she has no control and that she's late.
She's very much one of those people who, without wanting to, ends up walking into the hedge and then rushes to try and get out of it. She has cataclysmically weird luck
Yes.
throughout, and when she comes in, I mean, she's a rabbit, so immediately you see her, the ears that she has go down when she realizes that she is literally the first person here, and she will come in and she's like, hello?
So glad you're here.
Oh, am I the first one to come?
Of course you are, Alice.
Oh, what do you mean, of course?
What? And she goes, aren't you usually?
But it happened, the things, and I don't want to be late.
And exactly, and we don't want to fight that. We are glad that you are here.
Is there anything I can do to help?
And she goes, well, here's the thing. If you were to take your place at the table, there are gifts there. I would very much like it if you would open your gift so that the other guests know they can open theirs.
So I'm going to ask you this, and then we'll start having the others arrive. What is the gift that she opens?
For her, I chose a set of watches that were lost, but much beloved and prized. So they are essentially lost watches that are mourned.
Excellent. So she'll kind of look at that and she'll, sense the glamour on it and read that. And it's at that point that people will start to arrive. A few people come in, Lacerated Breeze, A Penny Spent. There is a moment when you see Abyssinian Max and Broken Cat arrive at the same time. And you can tell they dislike each other intensely.
Oh, that's good because I set them next to each other.
Yeah, and they really like Abyssinian Max is just like, oh, you're just the worst. And he will wander over, and I think at least one of you has an entanglement with Abyssinian, am I recalling correctly?
He would really like me to undercut Sabelita Pilchard, but now is not that time.
Okay. So we've got some of that is going on, and we will see coveting will arrive. There'll be that moment when Auntie Nim is just kind of there. You haven't seen her come in, but she lumbers over to the chair and kind of pulls her bulk up into it and sits there, opens the gift, and immediately starts chewing on it like an ogre. And we will see those. I think we will see the last two to arrive are a somewhat shocked Ashwine and Niani. And she will have Niani, by the arm, kind of moving her in. Ferris, you will recognize those two women that you dealt with, Ashwine and the other woman, are here. And you will see that Ashwine very carefully sits Niani down and makes a beeline for Crescent. What is going on?
I don't know what you could mean. It's pleasant to see you. Ashwine, you look as awful as ever.
Thank you. But why is Niani here?
I thought you'd want us to invite her. She's important to you, isn't she?
She's immortal. Everyone else here is a changeling. She knows about us, but this is throwing her in the deep end.
Right. But I'm sorry. I just assumed that if you loved each other, you'd want to include her in every part of your life.
Love is a strong word. Love is a strong word.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I see.
And she will say, she can't see through people's masks yet, but be careful I don't know what you've got beverage and food wise here, because that's the kind of thing that can cause problems. And if she starts seeing through everybody's masks, she's going to lose it.
No, she won't, because you're here and I'm here and we will take care of her. This will be a horrible time, I promise.
Do you want to? Are you trying to? Are you just saying that in passing, or are you really trying to get her to believe that? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really trying to get her to, because I feel really guilty.
All right,
because it's really my fault.
So in that case, this will be a conflict. Essentially, you're trying to get her to believe. That is to kind of get what you want from that.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
What do you want to roll with?
Let's see. I'm afraid, so I'm gonna roll with fear.
That's a good one.
Because I'm still thinking about everything. I don't know if it's going to work. Like, now that I see Niani there, I'm just really worried. So gonna roll with that.
Okay. And our fish-based roll for your party is on the basic moves.
I got a 10.
A 10? So you definitely want to get what you want from them, but what are the other two things? You get two other picks from that list under conflict.
Ooh, let's see. Pick on a hit, choose. Let's see. Pick 3. Okay. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick. Ooh. So yeah, get what I want from them is the one, and then the other one is. This is so bad. I'm going to gain a debt.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. That you kind of wheedle this around, and and kind of talk about her obligation to Niani and so on, and she eventually kind of goes, okay, if you say it's all right, I will owe you on this. All right.
Ooh, so awful. Crescent, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yes. And Ferris, you will see Ashwine there, and you've had that interaction with Ashwine just the other day. So she looks at you. But who are you talking to? Who are you interacting with?
I think as the guests are being seated, I'm actually just kind of going around and pouring pouring the water for them. But I think I would like go up to pour water for Niani, like keeping my eyes locked with Ashwine.
And you see her kind of look at you like you look familiar to her, and Ashwine clearly kind of like don't don't ask kind of thing. And as you're moving around there, Penny Spent comes over. You can hear them coming because there's that clup, 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 but also a little musical sound as they move. One of the things about Calliope Spent is they can't move in a straight line. So they're kind of doing this as they come towards you. And they'll get up to you and they're like, hey, what's going on?
Well, what's going on is you are here, and it's going to be very entertaining.
One summer court person to another. Should I be worried? Should I be nervous? Should I be scared? It seems like I should be scared. I'm kind of feeling that in this room right now.
Part of the intent is to be scared. I mean, it's exciting to be scared sometimes, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole thing here, right?
I'm just saying, I'm the White Knight on this. Also, this place kind of smells like the carnival a little bit here.
Yeah, it does have a certain smell to it and a taste, actually. But just it's okay to be scared within reason. I think it'll be fine. You will enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Immensely.
Okay. You're gonna have my back though, right?
Well, I don't think anything's going to happen where you'll need someone to have your back, but if it does, I will be here, of course.
Good. For a second, I thought you're not even going to go to the yes on that. So I'm glad that sentence ended up rolling around to the yes. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm gonna go sit over here then.
Enjoy.
He says, "Yeah, I know most of the changelings here. Who is that woman with Ashwine? She's got her mask up."
I believe actually that it's immortal. It's a mixed party.
Did you get permission? Is this? I mean, but she's not supposed to know, right?
No, it's a surprise.
No, nay.
It'll be fine.
He backs away and goes. This Calliope, he, she, very kind of gender fluid, and we'll go and we'll sit down at the table, and they are definitely looking more nervous perhaps than they were before. They don't look at Niani at that point. Falling Waters, who are I don't think, do we have any of your none of your entanglement people here? You managed to not bring those kinds of pains with you. So who would you go to talk to in this seating period? I mean, you've got the drinks and so on. Who do you want to talk to?
Actually, I was thinking about doing a sort of more environmental effect here.
Oh, okay. What do you want to do?
So everybody's like seated and they've had at least their first round of drinks and everything's sort of laid out. So I want to like just back behind the stage hit the buttons to pull down the light show where the various like disco balls start spinning and glittering and putting light all over everything. And as like all this fragmented light is swirling around everywhere, I think the audience, the sort of like fake audience takes on a life, and there's sort of like the sound of a rowdy crowd in a strip club, but they're like cheering and responding every time someone like drinks from their drink or
They're
tells
doing
a
like,
particularly
woo-hoo!
yeah or they're like they'll tell a good joke and they'll get these weird like sexual cat call sort of whistles from the crowd, and so it's just like amping that feeling of being on display and being in front of an audience sort of thing.
And what you will hear kind of go through is you will hear Ashwine saying, well, it's sort of a pop-up performance piece, so don't worry. It's an installation is what this is. Just go with it. Very, very, very chic. Very, very chic. So is there anything you want to roll off of that, or do you think that's just the effect that you're creating there? We could, if you want to invoke contract. Okay.
Yeah. So I think there's something I could probably find out of this.
Yeah.
Mark Clarity. So Mark Clarity means twice, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll come back to that. And roll. So oh, this is creepy nonsense. Let's go with power.
It's creepy nonsense.
This is very like strange bullshit from beyond the hedge.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Jesus. That's a 4.
Well, the good news is you get to mark XP.
Oh, whew, I thought that was going to go badly.
The bad news is that there is a like the sounds that go aren't like the sounds of the crowd, like at a strip club. That they start that way, right? Until we get that for that first part, but then we see them start to morph into the sounds of an ER. Of like doctor stat, you know, and that kind of thing, and sobbing, and that kind of thing, and it sounds just so familiar to you, and you realize that you've pulled that up.
Oh.
So mark the stat you rolled, and then mark another clarity.
Is that doubled as well, or 3 total?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. So the atmosphere kind of is going, and then all of you will feel this kind of weird change in this like almost medical drama kind of thing going on in the background, which seems strange, and a lot of people are you know, interacting with that. You serve the food. The chef has done an amazing job. This is real quality food. It is the thing that Niani is finally, she's looked at the drinks and she's like not wanted to drink the drinks or anything, but once the food actually comes, she will indulge in that, and people are eating and interacting, and we're kind of we're getting that feel of things here. So what I want to do is go around and have everybody tell me one thing about the party, about the superstition thing that is getting kind of placed on someone or what they're interacting with. And then also, once we've done that, I want to go around and have all of you have a chance to like interact with an NPC or two, or with an NPC and a PC, and so on. So Victory, what is a superstition? You've talked about the ones you're going to do, and who gets the onus of that, I guess I want to say.
I guess here's the thing is, in some ways, it's her job to announce those things, much like uh, because it's a strip club, there's that announcement of the performers and everything. So understand that she's there keeping an eye on it and keeping the themes going for all of this. So like when it switches to the ER kind of sounds, that's where she sort of introduces that idea of being between life and death, that sort of transition. And then what is a superstition but what keeps bad luck at bay or calls luck to us? And so I think that the first time that someone says something and then tries to take it back, essentially, that kind of when they're conversing with each other, that she calls to Hopscotch and says, "You may take a drink," and it becomes that's the sort of thing is that when they're the superstition that they kind of live for or are a part of that theme, then they take a drink, and that's the thing that they've finished the meal in the sense of or their obligation. Does that make any sense?
Nice.
So that
Nice.
is what she does. And so
yeah, and Hopscotch is definitely a little discomfited by the hob next to him, but always plays things casual. It's just a glance every once in a while over that way. Crescent, what's another superstition that is getting invoked or presented, and who does it fall on the shoulders of?
Yeah, I think at some point, wow, we're like really feeding off of the ER sounds, I think. Good job, Falling Waters. I think at one point we hear from the darkness, there's a sound of a man saying, "Just breathe, honey, just breathe in and out." And then you hear a woman going, and so there's the sound of like birth about to happen. And we see that that Covetting is looking around quite nervously. And I come up to them and I whisper, "Yes, soon we will smell oil of baby as well, in a new way." Um, Victoria herself, is this when they drink as well?
You muted, sweetie.
Yes, and you would hear in dulcet tones, "Coveting, please take a drink," as Crescent is pouring the oil of baby cocktail for her.
And it's a new version of it. The smell is just the same, but there's like a layered drink situation going on where it's different colors.
Oh yeah,
even after you take a sip. Yeah.
nice. What about Ferris? What's another thing superstition wise that happens, and who does it target?
I think I think Abyssinian Max is, he's socializing and
As
doing
he does.
Max things.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, you see?
And I think at one point I go to, to either put some food in front of him or refill his drink or something. But I actually like full on, because he is also marked as my rival.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to poke at him a bit. And I full on like bring a ladder out and like surf him from under the ladder, like playing off of the whole like black cat under a ladder superstition. Completely just as a call out to him, knowing that it's just enough that it plays off the superstition, but also like calling attention to him in a way that he probably doesn't like.
And it's the thing, there is all the superstition stuff, but everybody kind of looks because Max is a black cat. Yeah, and now everybody's like, is this all about Max? What's going on here? What's happening here? And he's scratching at the table a little. Thank you, Ferris.
Oh, no problem. You are the guest.
Listening, Max, won't you take a drink?
Falling Waters. What's another one of these?
So I think like the there's the tarot symbolism, and everybody's sort of linked with their particular cards, sort of like name places and stuff like that. And so I think as the party like moves along and things get a little looser, like people are feeling a bit more free to get up and move around and maybe like talk to people at the other table. It's everybody's attention just keeps being drawn to like the new groupings of cards that are coming together, and there's this sort of like enforced awareness, whether they know anything about the tarot or not. There's this almost like little 3 or 4 card spreads that they keep seeing in these conversations. I think it's Alice that begins like noticing it and sort of like calling out some of the patterns and little like insights that are coming through from these combinations.
She's she's excited to be able to read these things and kind of go and see the permutations, and though it does get so complicated after a bit that she kind of loses her way through the cards, and she kind of loses her path at some point, and just kind of trails off.
But still, I say, oh, the cards, they can be troublesome little soldiers. But please, White Alice, you're clever and lucky. Take a drink.
Cool. And then I want to go around and give each of you the opportunity to call a scene or an interaction with one of the NPCs or with the NPCs and the PCs. Let's kind of go in that same order. We're getting towards the end. There is a ritual thing that's going to happen after this, but during this later part of the meal, Victory, who do you want to interact with?
Oh, that is an interesting question. Let me see here.
Let me give you 1 second. I need to grab something off the shelf here. So let me turn the video off for a second. Sorry about that.
I think Miani, actually, because she's a mortal and I like to be needed. And I know that this is, how should we say, a little disorienting for her. I would like to be there to add some faux logic or reason or something to this to reassure her.
Are you trying to separate her from Ashwine, who is your rival? Or
no, Ashwine is not my rival.
Yes, she is.
She is? Oh, well,
Ashwine,
yes.
a torchbearer elemental who humiliated you before the court.
Oh, that's right. She doesn't even realize she did that. Oh, but that's so easy to do because Ashwine's keeping an eye on Crescent. So while she's doing that, I will simply sweep by the table and pull Niani over.
Are you the artist?
And she stops and she goes, I am one of the artists.
It's like a collective?
And she stops and she nods and she goes, yes. She goes, I hope that you enjoy this experience or at least carry something away from it. Do you have any questions?
I have a lot of questions.
That is good. That's healthy.
Is our Now I have a question for Crescent before I ask this next thing here. Niani, who knows about you, has Niani seen you both your mask and your mien, or just your mask, or what do you think?
She's seen both, but she's only seen my real self by accident once.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Niani had an involuntarily, bad reaction, and that's why I don't bring it out anymore in front of her.
Niani says, so are you like Crescent?
I sort of look at her and I say, I have gone through trials in much the way that Crescent has, but I am not like her. Oh, and then she stops and she goes, except that perhaps you would think so.
All right. So is everybody else here except Ashwine and I changelings?
There's one other who is not.
Oh, can I ask which one? Or is
She's
that
not
rude?
changeling, but she's not like you either.
Okay. And you deliberately don't say who it is, so you see her kind of.
I don't. And I
She's
say,
looking around.
she goes, but that's not the mystery for this evening.
Oh, there's a mystery. Oh, is this like one of those how to host a murder things? Or an escape room?
Oh, an escape room is never a bad idea when you're dealing with changelings. That's a fine way to look at it. And she does sort of nod and say, yes, look to how you can escape.
All right. And it's probably at that point that Ashwine will whoop over and kind of shoo her away. Thank you. Good to see you again. And then Niani's like, you know her? She's part of the arts community. Don't worry.
It's so good to see you again, Ashwine.
Good to see you too, Vicky.
I'll remember that.
Crescent, what about you? What's a scene that you want to call an interaction?
I think Crescent has been keeping an eye on Niani, but avoiding Niani due to all the shame. And I think Crescent will finally gather the courage to talk to Falling Waters and to ask about the whole Doom situation.
Falling Waters, you are going back to the bar to mix up another one of these with some maraschino cherries that are perhaps horrific. But Crescent approaches you. Let's have that interaction.
Falling Waters, I trust you. Trust, yes. But do you you like me? Right? Last time you said you did?
Yes. Yep. I'm sorry. It's just everything's a little odd tonight, but yes.
Oh, are you okay? Can I help you?
It's fine. I tried to do something with the lights, and it didn't. I'm fine.
Oh, but you don't. Is this a lie, or do you not know that you are not fine?
What?
So Niani, why did you doom her? I like her very much. Please don't kill her.
What? I'm not killing any. What?
But she received the doom. if she from the invitations.
There's I didn't know. There's something's wrong with this whole setup. Things keep squirming out of my grasp the wrong way.
Right. I'm sorry that
No,
this is happening.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know that Niani would. I knew that was something was wrong, but I didn't know what.
Oh, so it's not on purpose. Oh, that makes more sense. Yes, a mistake. Right, right. Oh, but it's still bad even if it's a mistake. It's still a problem, right?
Doom, though? Do you mean in? I mean, like a metaphorical sort of general.
Like a capital D, capital O, and small m, like that kind of
Oh,
doom.
okay. I suppose it could be worse then.
I don't know how mortals handle doom, and um, and I love her very much, and I think about her all the time, and I think about touching her hair, but she's with Ashwine, and what were we talking about? We need to help
Doom?
her. Yeah.
Oh. Yes, I do. Wow. Okay. Do you know how to read a Doom?
I know how to take pleasure over other people's doom, but that's about it. I didn't get much training otherwise. We could figure it out.
Yes. Yes, we just have to figure out the Doom that I accidentally passed along to her and its nature and its escape clause and figure out how to trick it before. Did you say there was a timer?
Yes, I think for the ritual, um, I've never seen doom not happen. I've often helped carry it out. So, but you'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in the meantime, maybe just a little on the pessimistic side. So maybe just stay away from telling Niani quite at the. I don't. Your bedside manner is a bit.
Oh, I'm also good under the bed and waiting there. Does that help? Should I do that? Like,
Yes, maybe under the table. Just
oh, I can do that.
atmospheric work. Yes.
Yeah, and I can whisper there. Yeah, I'll do that now. That's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Yeah. I'll just go over here.
And at this point, I'll lean over and kiss Falling Waters on the cheek. Thank you.
I'll.
Yeah, there was a thing where there's in some ways where that could be considered comfort and support, but in other ways I don't think so.
But it's Crescent's version of it.
Yeah, so Crescent, actually, if you want to roll comfort.
Yeah, I do actually.
Or support, yeah, comfort and support.
Yeah, how am I feeling?
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I feel like at this point, when I'm with Falling Waters, even if they're not having a good time, I always feel calm around them. So
okay.
So ooh, that's pretty high. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick, you can add a trust to the trust pool, that things you get to spend later. Or you can clear one of your moods.
I'm gonna clear power.
That's a good call.
Because Crescent weirdly seems to believe in my capabilities of dealing with this.
And then Crescent, you can either clear a marked mood, ask them a question they have to answer, or gain a debt on them.
Mechanically, I should clear a marked mood, but I think I'm going to ask a question instead.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, Falling Waters, can you tell me about when you were in love? I think I might love her, but I don't know. Maybe if you told me, I'd know.
Oh God. um. Yeah. And I'll say, I there was someone a long time ago. It I don't know. I didn't handle it well. I didn't.
Oh, did you kill them?
No, I didn't kill them.
Did they try to kill you?
Maybe you should just
Oh,
no,
okay.
I wasn't very good at recognizing my own feelings. Not until after things things are clearer after death, but less mutable, less
Oh,
chances.
hmm. Hmm. I see.
I don't
Well,
know if
uh-huh.
that was. I don't think that's the way you should. I'm sorry.
No, no, it's true then that the only real thing is sadness and fear. So that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. That was helpful. I'll go under the table now.
Falling Waters, could I please have you roll Inner Turmoil?
What's yeah.
Whoops, sorry.
I can't roll with sorrow. But I think similar sort of vein, and all of like he's still hearing that weird audience that won't shut up. So we'll go with fear.
Okay.
Oh, now you learn how to roll. 8.
8. So you have a choice. You can flee, mark clarity, or mark that mood.
Definitely have to like this party is everything for some reason. So I can't flee. I will mark clarity.
Okay. Does that fill your
Hmm.
track?
Oh, buddy.
Okay. So when you mark all 5 boxes of your clarity track, mark your highest mood.
Oh, dang it.
What is your highest mood?
Formerly was calm.
Oh,
Now it
so
is the opposite.
here's the thing. If you can't mark your highest mood, you have to mark 2 other moods.
Oh no, it is it. I had calm clear. I was
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
indicating that I am in a lack
Oh,
of calm.
oh, good. Okay, good.
That
And
sucks though.
yes. And then you erase all the boxes from your track and take a clarity advance.
Super.
So I'll let you I'll let you chew on that.
I'm so sorry.
Ferris, who do you want to interact with here? Who do you want to talk to? PC, NPC?
I think actually I want to approach Ashwine. I'm feeling some hostility still, so I want to squash the beef.
Okay.
So so yeah, I think I will go to Ashwine.
She does that thing that you see, where she crosses her arms to that kind of, putting that kind of physical defensive stance. And she says, Ferris?
Ashwine, I hope the food is hot enough for you today.
It is tasty. It is very good. It's certainly more palatable than the drinks have been. They're starting to get a little under my skin.
Yeah, they will do that. Hopefully, you and your plus one here, gesturing to Niani, are enjoying yourselves.
I don't know if enjoying is the word I want to use.
Well, but you're having an experience, and at some point you'll look back on it and you'll enjoy that you had it. Anyway, I just wanted to come by and apologize for interrupting you earlier, when I saw you in the market and it was out of my place. And, I just wanted to make sure that there's, no hard feelings.
I think this is you're trying to actually kind of get her to loosen up, to agree. Does this seem like
Yeah,
okay? So let's have you roll conflict as an emotional kind of push you're making here. What do you want to roll that with?
I'm going to roll that with calm. I
Okay.
think I'm trying to be nice. And that's an 8.
There's an 8, so you get to pick 2 from the list there.
Gosh, there's a lot there. I think I will. I mean, I want to say I get what I want from them, but I'm not really sure what it is I want here.
You want her to not be angry at you, to
Okay.
have a more neutral stance.
Yeah, if that's good enough, then I will say that, and then I will also say that I confuse them for some time.
Okay, you will confuse them for some time. Here is the cost. Is she says, okay, yeah, and she says, we're all good. I mean, after all, there's no problem when we had that little scuffle. And how is questions so loud?
Good. Everything is good right now. Interesting that you would ask. Questions so loud is not here tonight.
I know.
But you are, and that is a good thing.
She'll step away. I need you to roll inner turmoil as she flashes you back to her beating you, but only because you wanted to impress or not offend questions.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll with anger. And that's a 6.
That is a 6. So please mark your anger. And what do you break?
Oh, what do I break? There's so many things to break here. You know what? Actually, leaning into the superstition, I think I'm going to crack one of the mirrors.
Okay.
I think walking away, like I lose it for just a moment and just kind of like kick the bottom of one of the mirrors.
And I think it will shatter, and everyone looks over. Some of them think it's part of the piece because it is a mirror being broken, but you will see Ashwine look at you, and she's no longer angry at you. She has that look of someone who has just gotten one over on you again. And she smiles in that smug way that only she can. Falling Waters.
Wasn't one of the people that we asked, they had a mirror thing? Was that 11th hour, or I thought we asked someone?
There's the Darkling Uninvited. They are kind of
How do we not ask a mirrored one?
I think they're that's the uninvited. I think they're just the ones that are at the back of things. There's nothing invited any mirrored ones.
Oh, I'm just wondering why we didn't, because that would have been so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So does that make any sense?
Because
I
you
was
got
just
falling
going,
waters. And it would have been
I
two mirror changing, which was gauche. It's like having two beast cats.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Absolutely
Meow.
terrible.
Okay, I do think that at that point I will sort of go and ask, I will actually go to Falling Waters and I'll say, could you go and gather up that bad luck?
Well, more. I mean, what?
I just wondered if that was something you could capture.
With who's? Why?
And she sort of stops and says, it's going to be pretty potent.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And she
I
sort
was
of
just
stops and says, is there something wrong?
I was just talking with Crescent, and it's
She can be a little unnerving. I love her dearly, but yeah, I understand.
it's fine. There's just a minor issue or something I need to do.
What is the issue? I'm here. I will help.
It's fine. It's just a little light doom, but it's okay because I've taken care of it already.
Then why are you still worried about it?
I worry about the way
Young
that I've
man,
taken care.
are you telling me the truth?
Look, okay, so there was this problem with the invitations. I didn't know what it was at the time, but we handed out the invitations, and accidentally one of them was mildly, slightly doomed and death and horrible prophesied. I mean, I didn't mean to. It just sort of happened. You're putting together something weird from bits and scraps, and things get lost in the mix. And look, anyways, Niani, apparently the girl, the human, the not a just the human one, got the doom, and Crescent is very upset or happy or confused or hungry about that. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell sometimes. Anyways, they were very explicit that I had to figure out what to do, and so I thought about it, and I said, okay, well, this mortal is obviously under some sort of weird doom, and mortals can't really handle that sort of thing on their own, and so I thought it might go better if I just, tied her fate in with mine so that I could help share the burden of the doom, but I don't know if that's exactly worked.
She goes, oh no, that's exactly the correct thing. Remember that this is a ritual of transition. And to willfully take that upon yourself is exactly what keeps the folk away.
Okay, but it's sort of like like someone gets a permanent mark on their arm they really don't want there. It's like gonna mess up their meeting or whatever, and you like spit on your hand, and you're like, oh, I'll rub that off and it'll be fine, but then both of you just have permanent marker all over you. Then it's sort of like that.
She goes, go and speak to the other members of our motley. If we all accept it, we'll take almost all of the doom from Niani.
So mechanically
She
there,
goes,
lol.
I'll help you.
I picked up the fate binding clarity move.
Oh, okay.
Which starts with you may join the fate of a mortal to your own. And then it says roll, but it doesn't have anything for the roll except for later on when you try and disentangle.
So there's
Sure
you just do it, and you'll be the fulcrum, so that you can invoke the fate binding. But if we want to have this like absorb the doom and spread it out among the motley, I think that would be invoke contract.
Nice. Okay.
So
she does stop and she goes, she looks at him and says, would it be appropriate for us to invite our guests to participate in it as well? It is a ritual action.
I will, I mean, appropriate? Who knows? Although I'm still not entirely sure of the whole point of the party. But more people does mean statistically less doom per person. And, I think somewhere around like a 5-6% level of doom is probably acceptable for anybody.
All right. I think I can set the invitation up. And essentially, we'll go to the microphone and I'll say, this evening, we wanted you to know that one of you is doomed. This is a time of transition. This is a time where we can handle that as only we know how to do that. If you wish, you may participate in the ritual of taking on some smaller part of that doom. And all of us will be the better for it. Of course, if you choose not to participate and you are the one with the mark of doom, you will have no one to help you.
Let's have you roll beauty is truth, truth is beauty, and then we'll come to Patrick's contract
All right.
roll.
Do this with sorrow, because this is a winter court endeavor. Come on. Roller, be good. I rolled a 10 plus 2, that's a 12.
Oh, yeah. So you can definitely get everyone to understand what you want and to accept this. Like everyone will go along with this. Everyone looks around, they look at each other. Even the hob is like, okay, all right,
Right.
I have to.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, Falling Waters. You're going to roll to invoke this contract. You will have the fate binding on Niani, and then the doom will be spread out like peanut butter across all of the here,
Just like peanut butter.
just like peanut butter.
Ooh, oh yeah, this is all the worst idea. So we're gonna go with fear.
Okay.
It is.
You and you.
No. What did you roll?
What did you roll?
It's a 6.
Oh, that's okay.
Do you
Don't-
want to spend the trust that we have in the trust pool for the motley to bump
All
it up
of
to a
it.
7?
I would
All of it.
very much like to.
Okay.
How much do we have?
You have 1 right now.
Okay, because when Sherry said all of it, I was like, oh, is that enough to like?
And I think this is not using it selfishly. I think this is using it for the group. So you will bump that to a 7. So, let's
Take
see.
hold of something vulnerable or exposed.
Yeah, I
or
think
change
that's
the environment.
Yeah, I think
Something in
either
there.
one of those will be good. And I think to do this, if you want to do this without having to mark a mood, you need to do a stitch, like a surgical string stitch between everybody here. Not unlike some of the treatments that you used to do, and we got that ER in the background. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just mark a mood to avoid that catch. And you don't have to mark the one you rolled with.
Because I sort of feel like doing that catch would lead to like another inner turmoil situation.
It could happen, yes.
It's who can say?
Given the sound of the ER in the background.
Yes. Yeah, as he realizes that this is, just saying it is not going to be enough. He reaches to his hand and grabs one of his fingers and squeezes it, cracking until it's broken shards, and he pulls out a long needle splinter that has this connection of the quicksilver running behind it like a thread. As he does a stitch through the back of everybody's left hand, connecting them in a circle.
When you get to Niani, there's a thing where she's like, is this hygienic?
No.
And Ashwine is like, they sterilize it in between, and it's like a magic trick. Don't worry.
It is a magic trick.
You will prick that there, and I think that this will go off. But you know what? You doing these kind of medical things is a siren song. It is a tiny little beacon that goes into the deep hedge, my friend, and you will know that you have uttered a whistle. Does that seem fair?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
In terror, he will get to the end and stomp and ground on that needle in some hope that can cut a connection he can't.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to see what the ritual invocation does. You're muted if you're talking, Sherry.
We're good at parties.
It is such a changeling party, isn't it? So many disasters, a cascade, a waterfall.
Remind me sometime to tell you the story, Patrick, of the Changeling Thanksgiving that they did in one game.
Oh, Lord.
That went both really well and really wrong. But so as we get towards the end of this, there is a bit when you will feel the magic start to manifest. Feel the forces start to array. And Victory, I need you to choose a number from 1 to 4, with 1 and 4 being included in that number.
I'm going to choose 3 because
Okay.
it's a lucky number.
Then as you are doing that, you will sort of see a form appear kind of in your mind in front of you, one of these tarot cards, and you will see this card of justice, and it kind of floats there. And here is the move, which I'm about to drop into the chat for you.
Ooh.
It was an interesting and
Yikes.
really lucky choice.
Yeah, so I think I will roll it on. Oh God, I don't even know what my abilities are here. This is crazy. Let's see here. It says, so calm is humanity, right? Sure.
Yep.
I will try to roll it on for myself.
Okay.
Okay. So I get an 8, and a +1 gives me a 9.
Okay. So you will feel that, and you know that you will get a new office, a new place within your court, but it is going to have something unpleasant that you have to do to secure that.
People need me.
All right. You also mark clarity. I hear that. I can't tell, but I can tell that is what is going on. The what? That brings us to Crescent. Crescent, please pick a number from 1 to 3 now.
I'm gonna go with 3 again.
Okay. Grab this, copy. And you will see this card appear in front of you.
Ooh, the Hangman.
It's the Hanging Woman.
Ooh.
And that will appear. And I will put the move, copy, in the chat.
When I first started learning the tarot years ago, I always got the Hangman. So that's interesting. I'm very intimate with the card.
I should have put a break between the two, but you can see
no,
the text.
I can read it.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. When you evoke the Hanging Woman, roll with humanity if you invoke upon yourself, and power if you evoke upon another. Okay, I cannot roll with. Oh, wait, let me check. Let me see. Okay, I only can use humanity because the other one's still marked.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
Okay.
So it's a +1. 5, 6, 7 plus, yeah, so 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Whew. Okay.
So your subject is only partially free from their obligations and worries. You must choose one other PC to reveal a hidden truth to and mark clarity.
Ooh. Okay.
What is the
So
thing that burden that you have right now? A secret, something that you need to get off your chest that will kind of help you move forward.
ooh, do I say it out loud or is it something
You could get
that...
but just you'll say it to one of the other PCs. You'll choose who actually knows it, though you say it out loud.
I walk up to Victory herself and I lean over and I say, I have a problem. I think it's a problem. I think it's very bad. It is bad. I think I'm falling in love with Falling Waters. That's bad, right? That's awful. Because he hates love. I can sense it.
And she goes, "Oh, honey, he just doesn't know what love is yet. We'll figure this out."
Okay. I know it involves death, so, but it should be all right. Yeah. I'm not sure though. No, I am sure. No, it's bad. I don't know. This is a nice party.
Sometimes even Victory herself can't figure out what to say to Chris.
So that brings us to Ferris. 1 or 2?
I will go with 1.
All right. You will see in your mind's eye a card appear before you, and you will see this. And let me put the star here for you.
Okay, so rolling with either humanity or power. Luckily, I don't have either of them marked, so I do get to choose. I do like the examples there of skills you've always desired. The ability to speak French. Yeah. Naturally, that's where I would go. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and roll with power.
Okay. Who are you going to drop it onto then if you're invoking it on another person?
I am... I think I'm going to invoke it on Falling Waters.
Okay.
I think going back to the discussion that Falling Waters and I had back in the last session, I think he needs any power I can give him at this point. Oh, and that's a 13. Lucky number.
Holy cow. Patrick, complete your XP track right now.
Wow.
And you gain a skill. Falling Waters gains a skill that they've always desired. What has Falling Waters always desired?
Why not? I think it's music. I think it's playing an instrument like a piano. It's
Okay.
something that he used to know how to do, but hasn't been able to remember even the beginnings of since coming back from the hedge.
I think we see your fingers kind of doing this weird, like, in your head, the dancing of that, and your fingers kind of going along with that. And then there is but one left, and it is again, because I love the tarot, because it is always a synchronicity. So this card, the Lovers, will appear in the air before you. Copy.
Why does my lover's card have so many people in it? That's not right. Interesting. So when you invoke the Lover's, roll with humanity if you invoke on yourself, or power if you invoke on someone else. And I do not have a choice. So it's going to be invoke on someone else. Oh gosh.
Who are you invoking on before you roll?
I think on Ferris.
Okay.
Oh, these dice. That's a 7.
That is a 7. So read us the 7.
So let's see. On a 10 plus, the subject of your attentions will be aware of your feelings in the most positive way. This will not change their emotion, but may assist. 7 to 9, they can make this revelation, but they must sacrifice their memory of someone in the freehold. If they cannot or will not, they mark clarity. So this would be like Ferris choosing the 10 plus sort of idea, or
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm choosing the subject of my attentions, right?
Yeah. Who will, I mean, and this is if you want to, who will know that you are enamored of them and see that in a positive light? If you decide that you can't reveal that, then you'll have to mark clarity.
It's also, if you reveal that, you'll have to give up the memory of someone in the freehold.
You have to forget someone in the freehold.
You could choose not to do it for other reasons.
Oh goodness. I mean, you know what? Why not have a triangle? I'm going to say Falling Waters.
So Falling Waters, when that card goes up and you drop it onto Ferris, you will feel the strength of his affection for you. Ferris, who do you forget in the freehold? And it can be a guest, or it can be another character from your court, or one of the other characters.
I think it's going to be Questions So Loud, who nice. I'm also quite enamored with.
Yeah.
And have sacrificed things for.
Oh yeah, you will. That memory, that all just goes right out of your head. All right. What, Sherry?
I was just mouthing, wow.
And then here's the big one that comes out of all of this.
I think all of our invocations were on a PC.
I know they were all on PC, so you're rolling with +3.
Okay.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll just read it out for the
for the
recording. When you enact the ritual party for the pre-hold, roll with -1 for every invocation made on a guest and a +1 for every invocation made on a PC. Yeah, so let's see what happens.
So Sherry, let's have you roll victory.
So I rolled a 7, but with our self-sacrificing selves, that makes it a 10.
On a 10 plus, you enact the ritual with panache and style. No one is made the scapegoat of the ritual. The portents are excellent for the coming season. The next time you petition aid from a court for a threat, that court will believe you of the seriousness of it. And all of you can mark that the spring court owes you a debt. Everybody may also now mark 2 XP. So, Crescent, tell me something. I made victory roll. Tell me something about the part of what we see here in the end of the ritual. Like, what do we see? What do we feel here in the end of it?
Yeah, so as the ritual comes together, and I feel like all of this was happening in a single moment. Like everyone, all the other guests froze. It was only us that was moving.
Yeah. Nice.
And even the strange audience was frozen. There was no sound coming from them. And at the same time, I feel like all the tarot cards in the area were activated, and they were all like moving, kind of like in Harry Potter when like they're moving inside.
Yeah.
And they're all peering at us and the guests as the ritual comes to a close.
Nice. Ferris, what's another thing that we see in this conclusion, the ritual here?
I think there's definitely like a glow about kind of surrounding everyone, pulling some sort of emotion or pulling some sort of glamour, maybe even from everybody present. And I think nobody, like the scene is kind of frozen except for us. And so we can kind of see that. And I think that glow is kind of going upwards somewhere, being pulled together for some reason.
And I think that we also will probably see that thread illuminated by the glow as well. Patrick, what's another thing that we see or feel or understand from this ritual?
Without like any warning or alarm or sound or anything, the sprinkler system in here just goes off. But it's not like stale, horrible chemical sprinkler water that you would expect. It smells like lavender and sage, and like as it rains down over everybody, like all of the glitter and oil of baby and weird shame and regret and strange emotions just sort of wash off of everyone.
Oh yeah. Wash off, wash away. They drain out somewhere. They go somewhere else. Victory, what is the sign or symbol or thing that tells us that spring, the next season, is going to be good?
I think that like the sound system comes on and you hear this kind of like, it sounds like it's approaching, but everyone's favorite song plays. But they all hear their own.
What is your favorite song, Victory?
It's a very hard question.
I know, but you put it for us.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I'm going to ask everybody this question.
Yeah. I think, considering her age and everything, that there was a glorious time in college when girls just want to have fun was about her with her friends. And it's still like, and when that pops up, she goes, it's like just tears kind of come to her eyes, you know.
So we've got the Cyndi Lauper. Crescent, what is Crescent's favorite song?
I'm a Creep by Radiohead.
Nice. 110%. That is marvelous. Ferris, what is your favorite song?
I think. Oh, I think Ferris is really into some like '90s, like early 2000s new metal. So I'm gonna say "When Worlds Collide" by Power Man 5000.
So much louder than anything else we've heard here.
Yeah.
Through this. And finally, Falling Waters. What is Falling Waters' favorite song?
Been going through a list here in my head, but I flashed on one that is just too perfect in many ways. It's TLC, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, which might be written for Changeling, honestly.
Yeah. There is one of the Nico Case albums, I think Fox Confessor. No, actually Middle Cyclone. That every song is when you listen to it, I'm like, that's a Changeling song right there. That's another Changeling song as we go along. So this will go, we'll see that glow, and then we'll know it's over and the place is clean. And the place is clear. And everyone will kind of start to stand up to leave. They know that this is done, and you will see Victory. Auntie Nim will come over to where you're at,
And I'll say, did you enjoy your party?
That was wonderful.
I'm glad.
You will come to the market again?
Of course.
I'll come down there. Things we'll deal.
All right.
Things. Okay. And
thank you for coming. And she says that very sincerely.
Since you spoke with her a little bit before, coveting will come over to you, Crescent. Kind
Hello.
of draws you out from under the table.
Yes, I'm here under the table. Do you want me to whisper awful things?
I know we can whisper awful things together, but for the moment, no. Thank you.
Yeah? Did you have a terrible time?
Yes. I heard the cries, the weeping, the wailing. Yes, it was very good.
Yes. And the silent gnashing of teeth was a good touch. Yes.
It's good. We will speak again.
Oh, yes, that would be lovely. I mean, terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Absolutely. And there's that kind of long, awkward where we both sit there.
Yeah, and then I pat her on the head.
Oh, all right. And she realizes time to go, and she will get up and we'll depart. Ferris, Abyssinian Max will come over to you. Hey, Ferris. Hey.
Max.
That was a pretty good spread. It was a pretty good deal, pretty good thing there. Yeah, pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Trust me, we prepared quite a bit. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. You see? And he kind of reaches into his coat and he will pull out a wooden box, and it is for you and your pals here. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, a gift.
Yeah. Because you give gifts and food and things like that. I don't want to unbalance the thing, it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you. This is unexpected. I'll go ahead and open it right there.
And you can see that is a box of a dozen glamour infused, like you can smell the sort of hedge fruit bouquet to it, cigars.
Well, Max, this is an unexpected gift. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. They're one of my favorites. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Let's thank you, Max. And you know, perhaps sometime you can throw a party and invite me as a guest.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. All right, I gotta go. And he heads off. Falling Waters. Falling Waters, who comes to say thank you for coming?
Alice, why not?
So everybody else is like left, and Alice has been, kind of helping with the cleanup. And there's that moment when you see her turn around and realize that everyone else is gone and that she's overstayed her welcome. And she's like, oh no. Was I supposed to do something else? Falling?
No. I mean, I don't think you finished your last drink, but that's.
But
that's
I
about
didn't.
it.
I didn't mean to be the last one. I mean, I should have left sooner. I'm very sorry about that.
Well, but you were the first one too. So
I know. So it was doubly problem because I overstayed my welcome, and then I probably abused your hospitality. I'm so sorry.
Or you enjoyed the party more than everyone else.
I did enjoy the party quite a bit. It was very good. I did.
Well, good. It was a strange party, and it took a lot of work, so it's nice that somebody enjoyed it.
I did. Did you enjoy it?
I think it's important that you and the other guests enjoyed it. That's really where the true joy of hosting a party comes from, isn't it?
Yeah. I assume so. Can I ask you a kind of related question?
Another one?
Yes. Yeah.
Then
Yes.
yes.
Unfortunately, two questions.
Yes, please. Your second.
Oh, roughly percentage-wise, just an estimate of how much Doom have I taken on?
I mean, what? There were good 17 people or so. So I'm not sure. I think that's somewhere between 6 and 7%. Maybe a little off.
That's really not that bad then, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's assuming that it was a full Doom to start with, and that's just an assumption. I mean, if it was some lesser percentage of Doom, like some minor 3/4 Doom, well, we'd each be taking even less of that. So it's really just it's totally negligible, right?
Oh,
probably.
So you think it was a fractional Doom?
No, I'm just saying if it was.
Okay. Well, thank you again. I had a time. The thing happened, and I had time. Thank you.
Good. I hope your fractional Doom doesn't find you, badly unaware in an alley somewhere, alone and dark and scared.
Okay.
Bye.
And she's gone. And the four of you rather, have a chance in the aftermath of this to talk here. What is Victory? How do you feel about how all this went down?
I'd say, well, I think that went well. I do have to say it was much more difficult than all the other dinner parties I have hosted. So you all did wonderful. To give you one of those hugs that she does, that's very like she opens her arms and she does this. She doesn't like touch you too hard, but she does the cheek to cheek, other cheek to cheek, and she whispers to you how wonderful.
No, that's fine. That's very kind. But it was the sounds, the whole thing was off in the audience, and I feel like there should have been more glitter on the rims.
Yes, the glitter on the rims was the real problem. It's those, where do you even come up with these things? It went off beautifully. And strangely, your ER sounds were perfect. Perfect for setting the tone of doom.
That was not what I intended.
But it's what happened and it worked.
Victory, are you trying to support
Comfort and
falling
support
water?
him.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you want to roll that with?
I don't know. Let's see here. At this point, probably calm.
Yeah, everyone else has suffered.
I
You are
know.
relatively untouched.
I rolled quite a bit too, so I've just been lucky.
Victory genuinely had a great party.
Yes, I did. So I rolled an 8. That's a 9. So comfort and support with 9 means I think you're
That
in better shape.
Patrick, you may then clear a mood.
I think if you're there being just like assured and calm and entirely just like everything's great, I think you'll share some of that calm with Waters.
Nice. Ferris, how are you? What's your take on the aftermath of this with your motley mates sitting there?
Yeah, I think I'm showing everybody, the gift that Max gave me. Is this normal for Abyssinian Max to give a gift?
Oh, goodness knows. No, not at all.
Well, what do you think it means then?
That he was impressed?
That he wants to lull you into a false sense of security and then attack you?
Ooh.
That the cigars are secretly cursed and he was trying to find a way to pass them off.
I can't imagine he would have been carrying that box around.
And maybe he thinks you're cute.
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering. I mean, that's the only thing I could think, really. So I'm glad somebody else came to that conclusion also.
Right, your charisma is quite vigorous.
Yeah, I mean, we ogres are known for our charisma and vigor. So this tracks quite well. But I'm glad the party went well, despite me breaking a mirror. I'm sorry about that, if that caused any disruption.
Oh no, that was fine. It was good. It was well timed.
I mean, I didn't have a chance to break you, Falling Waters. So I guess the mirror was an okay substitute.
Yes, true, but it would be a shame to waste a good act. Maybe we could, practice it more for
but
the
Falling
future.
Waters broke himself today. I thought that was part of it.
Yeah, I mean slightly, but yes, I think Falling Waters, you and I should probably practice that breaking routine. I know I didn't seem open to practice before, but now I'm having second thoughts about that, and maybe practice would be good.
Good, yeah, fine, sure, good. Practice, and you'll see like it's not like I guess it's sort of equivalent to blushing, but like from where he had cracked that needle out of his hand, it's like the cracks in his glass skin haven't quite closed up. Like everything's sort of shifting and moving around, and they're like, as he's talking, there are definitely like cracks running through his face in sort of a spreading way.
Crescent, you're there and you have some feelings about this. What's your reaction when you see that?
I think at this point, Crescent takes like their thumbnail and then splits their skin across the face so that they can pull out and go back to their real form. Just like casually step out of the skin and push it under the table nonchalantly, and sit down. I think like squarely between Falling Waters and Ferris, just like forcing themselves there, and say, well, I for one had a terrible time and my heart broke quite a few times, so that was great. Victory herself, it was a wonderful party. I mean, awful, absolutely awful.
You all did so wonderful. I'm just so proud of you.
I don't deserve any of it, but thank you.
Or all of it. It was your idea. The threshold
Oh, that's right. I
and
forgot.
the tarot.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh,
You're all brilliant.
yeah, absolutely. So Ferris, uh, so Ferris, like I start squinting. Ferris, how are you?
Well, I'm doing quite well, all things considered. You know, I did break that
What things are we
mirror.
considering? Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Well, I mean, we should consider all things.
uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
Everything is worth considering.
Right, right. I'm talking to you. Look at me. Don't look at falling waters.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. It's just he's doing this weird thing with his face that it's kind of enchanting, really.
No, it isn't. No. Yeah, just look at me.
Okay, so Crescent, how are you doing?
I'm doing awful. Thank you for asking. That's very sweet of you.
That's funny. I am known for being sweet at times, so this tracks.
Yeah, probably too sweet. Too sweet for most people.
Oh, did you hear from somebody at the party that was I being overly positive?
Yes, yes. I heard that Ashwine had very strong feelings about you.
Like good feelings, bad feelings?
Feelings that you can take advantage of. Yes, just about right.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of worried that my interactions with her were maybe inappropriate for the party setting.
I thought you did very well for the party.
No one's talking to you, Falling Waters.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Crescent, for bringing this to my attention. I will consider all things better going forward.
That's good. That's good.
And I think we're in the glow of the success. So I'm not going to make all three of you roll inner conflict as I might rightly ask at this point.
Hilarious.
But you know what? This was so good. I actually think I want to stop here. This was so good. I wouldn't mind doing a little stars and wishes, but I want to stop here, just because I thought the sequence was so solid. I hope that's okay, and we'll take up in the aftermath of that. Let's move. I've got the order established. Sherry, Victor herself. Let's start with you. Wishes that you want to say?
Oh my gosh, I just want more of my Motley mates. They are all so terrific. Oh my gosh, it almost hurts. And my eyes are watering. Okay, yes. So I really love when we get to all be together, and the love triangle is going to be awesome. So I'm super looking forward to that. So more of that, because it's amazing.
Yeah. And to confirm, I will send out a thing with the April Sunday sessions here. So very, very glad on that. Crescent, Jamie, wishes you want to mention?
Ooh, gosh. Let's see. I don't have anything in particular to wish for. I'm just having such a good time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Robert, I know one of the things we didn't get to today that I definitely still on the table is getting back with your sort of your mortal life story. And we're definitely going to hit that next time. So I do have that on my list.
Yeah, no, and then that's fine. I guess I wouldn't have expected that to come up, but I guess who knows?
If you'd had a really bad fail today, it would have.
Yeah. That said, I mean, I kind of want to my wish is almost the opposite now of like, well, maybe we see more of the mortal stuff, but also maybe like delve deep into the hedge stuff now that especially now that I've got this thing going with Falling Waters, and he's got that whole thing going deep in the hedge. So who knows? But yeah, I would like to see more of the hedge stuff.
Okay. Patrick, wishes?
I'll sort of echo Roberts and build on it in that one of the things I really love about the hedge is the like psychoreactive nature to it, in that it like changes physically depending on how people are thinking and feeling near it. So like trying to have these emotional conversations or arguments or obfuscations become, I think, more interesting and enhanced when like you try to lie to each other about your feelings, but they're forming physically or doing weird things to the environment around you. You say like, I'm fine, and then there's rumble of thunder through the area or something. I just think that would be an interesting place to have some of these scenes.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, definitely. We will be in the hedge. We'll get into the hedge next time, definitely. Sherry, stars.
I can't say enough about your guys' play. You were spectacular. Jamie, your crescent is the most charming, sweet, upfront, scary little monster ever. Wow. She's just perfectly out there, and it makes her all the more frightening and all the more endearing. And also, you are spot on with everyone else's reactions. Was that a lie, or do you not know that you're there? That was so good, so good. And Falling Waters, you are Patrick. That character is the most fabulously opaque emotional mess that I have ever seen, and I love it because he's transparent and yet he is so not. And Robert, your troll is solid and sweet and determined and stomping towards disaster just exactly the way an ogre has to do it. It is so perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Jamie, any stars you want to throw?
Yeah, like big stars too. I really felt like Sherry handled the party so well as Victory herself. It was so fantastic. I really loved how the party really came together because of that in a really fantastic way. And stars for Robert for putting up with a very jealous Crescent. It was probably the first time in their life they felt jealous. So I thought that was really fun. I really liked that a lot. And I also really liked how trollish our troll is. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go pick a fight with someone who doesn't like me, and but act really nice. It was just really funny. It was like seeing the worst troll behavior, but in a cute way. I really liked it, and I really loved poor Falling Waters, like really struggling with this party. It was so good. But I thought it really brought out so much story. It was really fun. But also, Lowell, I really loved the tarot cards and the moves associated with them. I kept forgetting to read them out loud so other people can see because I was just so like, oh, this move is so good. So I really liked it. And I loved it was so hard for me in the beginning because your characterizations were so funny. I kept laughing and I kept coughing, but it's okay. It's right there. So it's a really big stars to everybody. It was so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I enjoyed that. So yeah, Sherry, we'll have the Tarot Arcana appear again as a thing in this. So now that we've kind of established that as a motif for spring, you've established that as a thing going into this next season. So we'll definitely have more of that. Uh, Robert, stars?
Yeah, definitely stars to Sherry for, I mean, I think the way Victory handled the party and like ran the party and like even like I don't know, like I felt like, well, that's a very well run party. Like it all just kind of came together, and I feel like a lot of that came down to a lot of the stuff Victory did. Also stars really to the way that the tarot worked, like the choices that everybody made, even in the case where you didn't have a choice and you had to invoke it a certain way. I think all of that worked like perfectly for your characters and what your characters wanted and maybe didn't want. That all went very well. And yeah, also stars to Patrick for the creepy, threading through everybody. And changelings can have a little bit of doom. It's fine. So yes, and I can't help but to look forward to where this love triangle goes. So definitely stars to Jamie for playing your jealousy up big time. I look forward to more of that.
Patrick.
Definitely stars for all the like custom moves this time. I love how much those tarot moves like swerved the story that was happening and put us in a new place to go forward out of this. Like it didn't just do a thing or like close off storylines from the party. It definitely started new threads going forward. And then just the idea of like the season changing freehold move, it was a great like revelation moment for what this whole party was and what we were doing. And I also thought it was set up really well and plays into some like it'll help reinforce some of the court politics structure going forward, which was really interesting. Jammy Crescent was amazing. Like just the fact that they opened their mouth and just like unvarnished, horrifying truths fall out. It's reminded me of like there's a current thread going in the Star Trek Picard show where you meet people that have this
Yes,
just like
I was
totally
inspired
unbridled.
by that. Yeah, I just watched it yesterday. So.
That's what I thought of, but they have this like unbridled candor of they will just say absolutely everything that is their truth and you just deal with it. And of course, Crescent's truth is odder than most. But in particular, the moments of like, oh, I'm really good at being under beds. Why don't I go be under the table? Like, just the idea of like Crescent creeping people out from under the table. And then just the moment of turning to Waters and no one's talking to Falling Waters. Stay out of this.
It was so cute.
Sherry, Victory herself, like people said, like was very much the sort of rolling impetus of this party. And in particular, I liked how whenever something like odd, unexpected, unwanted, terrifying would happen, Victory would just be like in the background right after it, be like, well, congratulations, you've stumbled into the horrifying reality of life. Take a drink. And it gave this like continuity, and every mistake and every terrible die roll and every bad character choice was entirely planned and meant. And Robert, I love the like awkwardly flirting around the horror that is Crescent. And again, I like how very straightforward Ferris is with like, oh, I need to make a contribution. I can break things. Do you want me to break things? Let's break things.
I want to say, I all through tonight, especially the early part, I gave you difficult improvisational questions about what you were doing, about what was going on and stuff, and all of you rose to the challenge. Great things, just dynamite. The placing of the tables, the decoration of the crowd, the drinks, the sort of the last minute details, all of those things, so good. You all really, just want to say all it shined throughout, and it was so much fun to play off of and build on. So I had a good time. I love parties in RPGs. I think they're an underutilized scene motif. I think there need more grand balls and parties put on by PCs. I think that needs to be a thing. So thank you all so much. I am going to stop the recording.